Welcome back, guys. I'm EDC Connor. This is my EDC. Welcome to another video. And it's winter time. It's actually in between. It's holidays, so Merry Christmas, belated Christmas, Happy New Year, and all the holidays, all the birthdays you have. So this is my little bit of a downsize EDC, except for I switched the minimalist wallet for the full wallet, and I will explain that for why. But yeah, I have more pockets. I no longer carry fanny pack or something of that nature. I prefer pockets actually. I have a jacket or a coat, winter coat on, and it loads and stores all my gear. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I do rotate. Most of the things I rotate are the watches. Today I'm wearing Universal Genève Pole Router, Micro Router. If you're into watches, I did a full review of this one, and actually I'm a watch channel. I talk watches, but I adore EDC. That's what got me into this, and I'm thinking of trading this up for a Navy timer, but we'll see. To make it part of a deal, actually, but we'll see. And yeah, another watch, if you're into watches, this is Maurice Lacroix. I also did a video on this one. Here, it's automatic, as you know. I live in Slovenia now, but I'm home now, and most of my gear, YouTube gear, is up there. But nevertheless, I have some things here, and I transit, so add this to my EDC would be a passport, because I commute and travel every other week or so. I come in to see my family, and I learned that in Slovenia carrying a blade is okay as long as it's under 3 inches, I believe so, but I need to look that up. Speaking of blades, my go-to blade ever since I got it, this is Spyderco Persistence. Love it. Cheapo entry-level Spyderco, but very dear to me. My first Spyderco was a gift from a dear friend of mine, and also I'm comfortable carrying it around, and it's very useful. It's been useful for food prep, and until I bought kitchen knives and utensils. But now it's just right in my pocket. I have here Victorinox Recruit, I believe so. This is just a simple Victorinox, 2 blades and 2 can openers and slash screwdriver. And also I used my roommate. We were in a car and something stuck, and man, I told him, man, you need the tweezers for that. Don't you have a tweezers? And he just looked at me, and I pulled out the tweezers, and he said, honestly, I'm not surprised. And then I go on to explain it to him, the concept of EDC and whatnot, and also jokingly said, every man needs to have a tweezers. They're actually useful. You get a splinter or something like that, and they are very helpful, which I get in my new line of work. I also carry a pen. This is the cheapest pen around. I got it from work. I actually use it at work, so I grabbed one in my pocket just to have it. It's just a cheap Pilot, but it has a fine tip and it writes nice, beautiful. I no longer carry fancy pens because I no longer do fancy job. Now I'm a blue-collar worker. Yeah, this is from my son here. I have a little son, so here. On my keys, I downsized my keys a little bit. I had this yellow loop, but I do have Spyderco. I think this is Grasshopper. It's a bit bigger. I always wanted to have a ladybug, but then I got a Grasshopper, and this is also useful and bigger and better actually. This is my coffee thing where I get my coffee, and Phoenix backup flashlight, and some random keys. Also Leatherman Bruiser. I find this very handy. I used actually the first time I have it in years. I used this to screw down a screw on one of the machines, power machine that got loose, and I used it. And people were looking at me strange, but people who are around me already know that I have lots of cool gadgets. Gadget Next gadget here is the Phoenix E12 AA single AA flashlight. Works wonders, and ever since the last EDC update, I'm living in the mountains in Slovenia and in the city center here. But in the mountains there, we had a blackout. There was actually snowstorm, and the snow was very heavy, and it ripped apart the power lines. And being it in remote from the city, I spent all night without electricity and a good amount, but till noon, till the people, till the electricity man fixed it. Yeah, but I was cold actually because I heat myself on the electricity, and the worst thing is that we had no light and nothing, everything was dead. And fortunately I had my laptop and phone full and internet worked, but I just had to use the flashlight, and my roommate asked for it because he notices I have it. And then I explained it to him. I use this as a candle, and that's very important. I learned that ages ago on candlelight forums and from Cutlery Lover, that for a EDC flashlight, it's very important that it has the feature that it can stand on its tail, so it can serve as a candle. And it has 3 modes: low, medium, and high mode. And I use the low mode to conserve battery, but I always have some spare batteries in my backpack, and it was a nice candle, so you can use it. Unfortunately, I could not drink coffee or anything because everything works on electricity in my flat. But yeah, next tool I have is my phone, and I need to get a eSIM for this because I'm using 2 SIM cards, one for Slovenia, one for Bosnia, and I need to. I'm gonna go today and grab that, but I have another phone that I'm using to film this, so the footage may not be as crisp as from the iPhone, but I use this phone plenty of times for my YouTube. The wallet, I returned to my two-fold wallet, my trusty old wallet. I got this for, I don't know, for birthday or Valentine's Day. Nobody's watching, so it doesn't matter, but it's two-fold, and I use this when I do not have fanny packs and whatnot. I carry a card, but sometimes you want to put a receipt in there, you want to put some cash, and I do have a lot of cards now, so I switched back to this because I have a lot more pockets to carry this. In the summer I will carry a card holder, which I have that pop of leather card holder, which is awesome. Okay, we have left one more tool and one more knack. Why not? This is a bracelet leather band. It's actually fossil leather band. It says here somewhere. I always like these, but I do not carry them a lot, especially in the summer because of I like leather stuff, but in the summer I sweat like a pig, so it's a no-go. But in the winter I always grab one of these, and this is the one that happens to be with me. And some other tools, I do always have some cash with me. In various pockets. I have some cash in my wallet, in one pocket, and somewhere else, because cash is king. Sometimes ATM's not working, I'm traveling, I'm crossing 2 foreign countries to get to my home, so you need to have some cash. And I read a story a couple of days ago I have cash separate places because I read a story a couple days ago that some people were returning actually from the country and on transit through Croatia on the resting place on the highway. Here you have a gas station, a little coffee shop, rest area, and the guy went to the toilet, and when he opened the toilet door, someone just dropped a fist in his face. Someone punched him in the face, and he tried to fight. There were a couple of guys there. He tried to fight back, and as you would do, but then they pulled out a knife, and he surrendered and gave them all his money he had in his pocket. Luckily, he said he had some money in the car, but yeah, and also I returned my trusty cricket. This is a Spyderco cricket, my favorite EDC blade because it's inconspicuous and it still can do a lot of damage. It can cut stuff. You can cut open boxes and no one will think twice, nothing much. No one will look twice at it and think nothing much of it because it's so small and cute. And I use this as a cash holder, money clip, and also it can double down as a defense place if everything else places, because I like backups. EDC is all about backups. I mean, one is none, two is one, and what I was explaining that to my roommate, it's actually fun to explain things to someone who's new into EDC and whatnot. And I explained to him the concept of EDC, how you don't want to be a sheep, you want to be a sheepdog, and all that good stuff. And hopefully he will try to ask me about some of the EDC stuff, and I might just give him a knife or something to kickstart his collection. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. I'm EDC Gunner, and if you like EDC, if you like watches, I like all sorts of watches, but some vintage watches are very interesting and neat to me. This is from the 50s watch. It was designed by Gerald Genta, and it was designed for for the first flight from across the North Pole, and that's hence it's called Pole Router. I explained the story in my review of this watch, so you can check it out. Just type in EDC Gunner Pole Universal Genève and you will find it. Lots of cool stories, but I like old watches and cool watches because they come with a story. Unlike this one, this is just a watch that I bought and I'm using it in Slovenia because it's nothing fancy, but this has a story and I love it.